This is the news. Hope you've got a bit of a cuppa. Why? Because there's a little bit to get through. It's time for the Train Sim 4 roadmap for July 2024. Let the speculation commence. What we have in the infographic here, 0 to 3 months, Formation Designer Creators Club functionality, and thank you to the cat for saying hello this morning, going meow, but that's fine. Scot RA Class 380 Loco, so that's coming out this Thursday for most people, and I will be streaming it later on tonight my time in about 13 hours time. Partner releases: Scot RA Class 158 Skyhook Games, the Expert BR 101 from Train Sim Germany, and patches for suspension improvements. So they're all coming out in the next 0 to 3 months, which is positive, although there's not a lot of content coming out in that column. Then we have 4 to 6 months, San Bernardino line, Los Angeles to San Bernardino, a UK route, a UK Loco, which has got a new flag next to it, a German Loco, and a German route. Dovetail Direct Summer 2024. Well, we all know what happened last time there was a Dovetail Direct, don't we? 6 new pieces of content to be revealed. UK route by Just Trains. And there's a new flag on the following. New content to be announced. Well, it just... yeah, okay. So 6 new content to be released. So I guess it's the UK Loco, because that's marked new, and these 5. Okay. Release date TBC. Tadami line. Aizu, Wakamatsu, Tadami, Union Workshop, so no change there. Route from Alan Thompson Simulation, no change there. Colin Arkin Timetable Update, no change there. BR Class 104 and Peak Forest Expansion Pack by SimTrack Studios, no change there. 5 Circle Line, 11 Branch Update, Rivet Games, PC Editor Improvements. Santa Fe Gameplay Pack from High Iron Simulations, and a DE Loco, so German, from SimTrack Studios. Content subject to change, of course. We'll skip the TLDR because we want to know, don't we? Okay, the Train Sim World Roadmap. Let me just put on my little sign just to warn my family that I am in fact recording right now, because they're starting to wake up. Well, one of them's actually gone. He's been at work for an hour. Poor bastard. Welcome to July, everyone. Today we have lots of exciting news to share, including the date announcement for our next major Dovetail Direct event. We also have a range of new screenshots and details for upcoming Train Sim World 4 add-ons, including the highly anticipated Scot RA Class 380 and Cathart Circle Remaster, arriving this week on July the 11th. We've also got new information from Skyhook Games for the Scot RA Class 158 and the Train Sim Germany team on the Expert TBBR 101 locomotives, both releasing soon, and a quick update on additional projects from both first and third party teams. For development insights this month, we wanted to revisit how community suggestions are used, topic, and explain the lamp oil process we use when choosing what routes to develop. Additionally, we've got a confirmed list of locomotives included within the suspension improvement update coming later this month. Oh, it's finally coming out. Finally, don't miss out on a range of amazing Steam discounts for Train Sim World 4 and all of our compatible content. The sale ends on July the 11th at 1700 UTC. They haven't been advertising it, but there's an Xbox sale on as well. I'm not sure if it's still going, actually, because I've had to pack up my Xbox because I've got a new desk coming. Life. We'll be live tonight, Tuesday 9th of July. Well, that was this morning for me, and it's already happened. And today we're announcing the next Dovetail Direct coming August the 20th, 2024 at 1400 UTC, which means it starts at midnight for me, so I'll probably take the next day off because, you know, I might watch it. Let's have a look. Ooh, do I have sound working for this? Oh, there's actually nothing there. Live in 41 days. Fair enough. We don't need sound then. If you've not caught one of our Dovetail Directs before, they're exciting live events packed with all new announcements across many of the titles we develop at Dovetail Games and with our partners. This year we've got loads of news to share, and not just for Train Sim World, but also for brand new projects, as well as more news on upcoming Roblox Tycoon experience we announced earlier in June, and check in on City Transport Simulator Tram. Be sure to mark your calendars and set a reminder on the YouTube event above. As a note, due to the Dovetail Direct, there will not be a TSW August roadmap. All right, let's talk about the add-ons that were released last month. We're just going to skip through these pretty quickly because we already know. So there's the TBBR 218, which is actually pretty cool. It's a diesel hydraulic. We've got the Scot RA Class 380 or BR Class 380 coming out on Cathart Circle with the Cathart Circle Remaster. I've had the 380 for a couple of days to play with, and I've done some tutorials and stuff like that for it. And I'll be streaming it tonight. And the remaster came just in time. It downloaded last night. Okay, get ready to hear the otherworldly Desiro hum echoing through Glasgow suburbs as you complete loops around the Cathart Circle line with the upcoming Scot RA Class BR 380 arriving into Train Sim World on July 11th. Check it out in our Class 380 First Look Showcase. I won't run that because we've already done that. Alongside this release, the Cathart Circle line will be remastered, and this excitingly launched earlier today, so that's already out for people, featuring a massive list of improvements to bring the route right up to TSW4 standards. Reminder for the key headliners, setting us up nicely before the release of the 380 this week. New timetable, TOD 4 upgrade, upgraded route scenery, upgraded tracking visuals, updated the Class 314 with new lighting rain effects and added GSM-R, updated Glasgow Central lighting, scenery, PIS and passenger spawn locations, updated stations, new lighting and passenger spawn locations, added scenery for the disused Netherton Goods, Crosmyloof and Dumbreck stations, added scenery and track for the disused Smithy Lie sidings, added scenery and lighting for Shields Depot, added interactable player bench at Glasgow Central and Pollock Shield seats, which means you can go and sit on your little behind and watch trains. As for those who aren't sure what we mean by remaster, these changes will come free to anyone that already owns Cathart Circle line in Train Sim World 4. If you're playing on Steam and you've yet to play Cathart Circle line, you can get this route add-on at 50% off until the 11th of July. If you own Train Sim World 4, your purchase will automatically update the route to the remastered version. Note that carefully, if you have Train Sim World 4, it will automatically update. Alrighty, there's a 314 covered in snow going to Glasgow Central and a 380 in the background on a bright sunny morning. If you know someone who is now eagerly anticipating the release on July 11th, be sure to head right into our Scot RA Class 380 timetable deep dive article, which includes over 3,200 words of history, research, service details, new screenshots of the Class 380 and much more, all passionately written by our product marketing coordinator, James. We went through that before. Scot RA Class 158, developed by Skyhook Games. Okay, this looks like the first proper screenshots for this thing. So it's a diesel multiple unit, I believe, the 158. Sort of the grown-up 150, I guess. Coming later this month is Skyhook Games Scot RA Class 158, with a whole host of gameplay on the Edinburgh-Glasgow route, as well as scenarios on Fife Circle. This week we have some updated work-in-progress screenshots for you, showcasing Loco in action on Edinburgh-Glasgow. Just the implication of that where it says scenarios on Fife, that means there's no timetable change on Fife for the train. See a not in service 158 there. You can see a 158 coupling up to another train, which would be that'd be Fife, wouldn't it? The 385 or whatever it is, 370, whatever it is. It will also be available as AI traffic as a result of the Cathart Circle Remaster, which releases later this month. As a note, scenario services for Fife Circle will be added after the 11 branch is released. So that's, well, could be close, could be a while away. They did promise to start working on it. Work in progress. The scenarios obviously used 11 branch. 11 branch is actually there, it's just not scenic. Another work in progress shot of the 158 DMU sitting at, was it Burntisland station? It's got that, that funny glass. Just looking at the windows. I thought they'll update that to the real glass. But anyway, Glasgow Queen Street. Keep an eye out for the article providing more information as well as a release date later this month. Expert TBBR 101 delivered by Train Sim Germany. Take on the ultimate challenge and step into a new level of simulation with an unparalleled in-depth recreation of the much-loved TBBR 101. complete with the IC Store Wagon, developed by the talented folk at Transsim Germany. We're in the final stages of development now, so we thought we'd check in with some of the team to find out more and share some work-in-progress screenshots inside the cab and engine room. Ooh, there's new panels and things up there. This definitely does look different to the other one. It's got some more bits. There's a lot more labels on things, which is nice to see. I can see there's a lot more detail on the gauges in that shot. Screens look about the same. Okay. It's a lot of switches. It's an enormous number of switches in the machine room. So we're allowed in the machine room. Very good. Good to know. Of course, all the switches are labelled in German. Because, you know, we're going to have to learn, aren't we? Work is underway for release at the end of this month. Awesome. That's not far away. Fault simulation seen in the screenshot below will be configurable on a hidden screen where Ebola would be. Default is hidden. So you can turn the faults on and off on this screen. You can find yourself things. Increase chaos factor. Ooh. That means things just explode. You know, I have to say, you know, I am a real life railway person, and there is not a trip where something doesn't go a little bit wrong that we have to cope with. Ooh, look at the relumbling on the graphics for the lights. They're quite different. Ooh, I very much like. I don't know if I'm going to like driving it, because, you know, trains yelling at you in German. You know, not really my thing, but, you know, let's give it a crack. William Green, known for developing the Vectron for Dovetail games, is hard at work at finalising setup. The rest of the team is working to correct art bugs and finalise audio and gameplay. Some nice copper effects on the piping in there. That's probably your PZB setup, I'm guessing. Potentially CIFA as well. I wonder if it'll have the proper version of CIFA where you actually hold the pedal down all the time. That would, from a keyboard, that'd be infuriating. Upon release, it'll have copied timetable services on Nürburgring, Dresden, and Bahnstrecke, Salzburg, Rosenheim, but you can, as with all Transsim World 4 locos, use free roam to play it on your favourite routes. We'll be sharing more information about the Expert TBBR 101 later this month, but we're really looking forward to seeing how you adjust to the added complexities and immersion an Expert Loco will provide you with. UK route developed by Just Trains. This month, Alex from Just Trains team gives us an update on the progress of their next route's development, and they've delighted us with an early work-in-progress screenshot. There we go. I'm sure people will start trying to guess where that is. It's a nice sweeping curve. Very typical English housing along the side there, so it's not going to give you much of a clue, because I don't think there's any custom assets in there. There you go. It looks nice, though. I was actually interesting on my trip in the UK. I thought they've got to be kidding with this asset reuse all the time, but no, they're really like that. And they are. They're just bullseye. Alex said, following on from our highly acclaimed first ever Transsim World release, Blackpool branches, Preston, Blackpool and Ermskirk route add-on, and the Just Trains team have been and continue to work hard on our second Transsim World add-on. All the track and signalling has been completed, and many tens of miles of immersive scenery has been crafted with still more to do. Set in the BR era of the late 80s, the route is one that has been highly requested and features a good array of iconic stations from minor to major, with our 3D artists excelling themselves with authentic looking and accurate assets and objects throughout the route, including many period signal boxes, of which quite a few are explorable. Yes. The rail vehicles are coming along really well. Why am I pink? I'm pink. God. Got the light too bright, haven't I? My own air light's pink. Are coming along really well and will provide a unique experience for Transsim World. A treat of traction. The busy and varied timetable will provide a very immersive experience, with our full timetable featuring passenger, parcels, freight and shunting operations, along with a variety of special extra services. Plus, of course, our use of layers will interact with other add-ons that you own, which mean that you're on this route for the long haul. So that's good. That's a good indication it's going to be a good, busy, service-full route. I like that. Thank you, Alex. We can't wait to show you more. Where do you think the teaser is hinting at? You can expect more details about this release in our upcoming Dovetail Direct Summer 2024 event on August the 20th. In the depot projects. This section was known as our previous roadmaps as background projects, how terribly corporate. We've decided to brand it in the depot, which is simply to refer to any projects that are currently undergoing lots of hard work and development time, but are ones we're not ready to share further updates on. We know you'll likely ask us about these during our live streams with community spaces, so this is to help ease your mind rather than leave them out completely. As a note, this will generally not include everything that's happening, but aim to provide a single sentence with a few key projects highly anticipated. To dummy line, Union Workshop are continuing to develop the route. Nothing further to share. Unannounced Alan Thompson Simulations route. The team continue to work on bringing their route to life. This content is still some way from releasing. Well, of course, they'd have to learn the tools. So does Union. 5 Circle 11 branch. Adding the newly opened 11 branch is one of River Games' next projects, and they have started to gather the reference material for it over the past month. I'd actually say that they should probably wait 6 months because I've watched the videos of 11 branch and it looks like crap because it's all under construction and there's no trees and it's... You wait a little while. High Iron Simulations. High Iron Simulations have announced a member of their development team joining to support their Transcend World projects and continue working on their previously revealed Santa Fe gameplay pack for Cahoon Pass. They are also progressing away on their first full TSW route with details to be announced at a future point. And they, like the others, have to learn the tools, so it'll be a while, I'm betting. Summer Core updates, US improvements coming soon. We've seen good feedback since we decided to start focusing on larger bundles of patch notes rather than smaller and frequent updates. In the last month, we have now released 3 large sets of improvements focusing on core changes, as well as UKDE and US fixes. So there's the recent ones. I'll do a separate article on the updates that just happened. As a note, some improvements to the Antelope Line, MP36 and Peninsula Corridor didn't make today's update, but they'll be added to a future patch when they pass testing. Your feedback has been vital for our teams to target the most reported community issues, and we'll continue to take this into account as we look to build new patches and improvements. If there's any outstanding issues you're experiencing, please let us know on the forums via a support ticket. I value the time you take to share your experience with us. I do really encourage people to do that. Don't just sit around whinging about problems, because they do actually listen. I know that for sure. And if you think you're not getting any traction, get onto one of the ambassadors, whether it's me or one of the others, and explain your issue to us, and we can carry it in for you. That's what we're here for. Progress on improvements. Suspension improvements. We're finally ready to announce that the long-awaited suspension feature will be coming to all within our next major patch, aimed at the end of the month, start of August, so not far away at all. And we'll include suspension improvements for a selected list of locomotives. Our development teams have been working hard to deliver and test these new systems and stay true to tradition. We have 2 final videos to share for the upcoming feature on the BR class 801 LNER Azuma and the Bahnstreck Salzburg Rosenheim's BR 185.2. Well, just before I play these, let me just do something quickly, which that didn't show up the screen. Good. I just need to turn on browser audio and hope I don't get any other browser audio. So let's play. Is there any audio? Don't know why YouTube's playing that in such low res, but it is. So this would be an Azuma. That does look better than what we saw on the 218 when it had the hyperactive suspension. Still not an enormous amount of movement in the bogie. So at speed we've got a bit of rock and roll and sway. Everybody can probably turn their cab sway down on the Locos that have suspension. I think they've left the mouse cursor there just to show you how much it's moving. That's funny. Alright then, let's just slide by before that does anything silly and show any other videos. Let's have a look at the suspension physics on the 185 now. I notice they're going through the points at quite low speed, which suggests to me that the suspension behaves in the way it should, and at high speed you wouldn't really notice it much. Up to 30 kilometers now, and yeah, it's a bit less movement. Avoiding hitting the pole. Just watching that spring, because I don't think we're seeing any spring compression or actual movement of individual items. We're just seeing, yeah, we see the ends of the bogie bounce up and down, basically. So it's not at the level of what we see in Railcar Simulator, but it's a significant improvement, I think. Because in Railcar Simulator, every individual component in the bogie is moving. It's really awesome. I would love to see that come to this title as well. That would be good. Build up some speed now and show us what it's like at speed through the points. I'd expect less movement. And that is what we're getting. Less movement, less noise, good. Now you might be going, hey, isn't he in the beta program? Hasn't he seen all this? The answer is actually no. Because I'm owner beta testing one route since coming back from the UK because I've decided to concentrate my efforts. Okay, let's just score all that down again. So the full list of locomotives that will receive this new feature within the release, and let me just turn off browser noise again in case we get weird notifications or something. The East Coast Main Line 801 Azuma. The East Coast Main Line Class 66. East Coast Main Line FKA wagons. Vorarlberg OBB 4024. Vorarlberg Habens, Kills and Layers. Maitelbahn BR 624. Maitelbahn Enos Habens Roost. Rosenheim BR 185.2. Rosenheim OBB 4024. Rosenheim Habens Double Stock. Semmeringbahn OBB 4024. Semmeringbahn Habens U708. Flying Scotsman Mark 1 and Mark 2 coaches. Blackpool Branches Class 8. Blackpool Branches Class 47. Blackpool Branches Class 142. Class 380. Class 323. Training Centre variant only. As an addition to this, the Class 218 has had an initial version of the suspension improvements, but this will be improved after we've released the core update. The Class 380 and DB101 Expert will also have suspension improvements added to them at some point after release. We are currently discussing implementation of suspension on the Scot RA Class 158 with Skyhook as a post-release update. For US players, we haven't forgotten about you. We'll have news in the future on trains from Antelope Line and LIRR Commuter. The new suspension system will be implemented as a standard into future add-ons moving forward, and we'll continue to review opportunities to bring the system to more locomotives in our back catalogue where possible. So basically, if you look at that list, apart from a few notable Yankee things that are missing out, that's pretty much the TSW 4 set of stock that's come out. So there's a few things missing from that, but I dare say they'll come, but that's the bulk of them. PC Editor. We have finished an initial piece of work on the PC Editor. It's currently in test and we'll get it out to you as soon as possible. This update will cover a lot of initial player feedback from the editor, including enabling cooking. That's good. Fixing the asset loading issue where some assets fail to be detected, and improving the handling of mods in general. We'll have more info on this when the update goes out. This isn't the end at all. We're currently planning the next piece of work and we'll update more as that happens. I know quite a few of the potential third-party builders have been sitting on their hands waiting for the editor to update, so hopefully it brings some good things and brings them in. Community Corner on lamp oil, which is the way they choose routes. I'm pretty sure we've talked about that before, but yeah, it basically stands for licensing, anticipation, mix, and prominence. And 3 new categories: opportunity, intelligence, and limitation. So basically what they say is, I'll just go through it. I was going to summarize it, but we'll go through it. Licensing. Licensing covers our legal obligations and is a good starting point to answer questions such as whether we have licenses or agreements in place to ensure we can represent the route appropriately with the trains that are seen on the route in the real world for the time period proposed. Do we need to consider additional licenses to develop the route? It informs our licensing and contracts team where they need to focus their resources. Excuse me. Anticipation. Anticipation is about how we expect players to perceive the route and the included content. This probably is the most subjective area of the evaluation, as we're essentially evaluating how well players will receive the route in its proposed form. We look closely at reviews and comments from similar routes we released previously, as well as any community thoughts and concerns raised on proposals from suggestions. We need to answer if players will find the content boring or just a duplication of previously released route. If there is strong support for a route, where is it in the hierarchy? Mix. Mix looks at gameplay element in greater detail. Is there enough gameplay provided in the route to keep players occupied and engaged? Does the value of the included content and gameplay align with the intended pricing? Does the gameplay volume align with previously released content? Are there any unique elements in the gameplay that we can leverage to improve the gameplay offering? New industry elements or interactive components that can enhance the experience? Prominence. Prominence looks at the global commercial appeal of the route. What are the locations represented known globally, or is the route known only to locals? Are there prominent landmarks which are required to properly represent the route? Do the included locos have appropriate appeal to players? Is there any prominence to the locos? Are they famous? Routes that have greater global appeal and have strong landmark features with trains that are likely to engage the players are more likely to move forward to approval. I think that's something they learned from Peak Forest, is while the enthusiast community really looked forward to it, the general player community didn't. So kind of a flop. Opportunity is the first of our new categories we've added into this definition. It looks at the potential to alter the design of a proposed add-on to increase the appeal for players. This could be including a famous location, landmark, train, service, or coach name. You could also look at the chance to create additional related add-ons, seasonal spin-offs, or layers that may link to the route and content included. I would hope this is a review of the stations they include or the yards they include to make sure that there's a representative set, because there is a bit of a habit of missing one, like going almost to the terminus, for example, and not quite doing that extra step because it might be another 20 miles to the route. But, you know, it's worth it, generally. Intelligence. Intelligence refers to aligning the release with real-world events that may elevate the add-on if completed by a specific milestone, such as birthdays and festivals, or released at a certain time of year. These can help support the add-on success by giving our community marketing and PR teams areas to highlight, such as historic events or locations. Well, you know, the Talathin's doing their 150th, just saying. You know, it'd be lovely to have a little narrow gauge steam route in this thing. My railway's got a big anniversary coming up soon, actually. Not very far away, too. I don't have any thoughts that my railway would ever end up in this game, though. While it is quite famous, it simply would not sell. Limitation. The final area, limitation, is our last check to understand if we need to consider anything that would work against us for creating a specific add-on. Outside of licensing issues with operators, we also need to consider legal constraints such as copyright landmark, where there may be a fee. We also use this step as a chance to ensure that there is sufficient relevant content to make the add-on feel alive, and if the scope of the project is something we're able to support to give the best version of add-on to players. So that's the full process as we have it now. I hope this insight helps you understand where your suggestions come into the picture and explain the challenges our teams face before picking the perfect route. Keep giving us your community suggestions for new add-ons and make sure to submit these ideas to our suggestions forums. There's one thing I might cover in there actually because people won't be familiar with it. Now I am, because I do a little bit of commercial photography. If you're wandering around a city, let's take London as an example, and maybe you're taking a picture of, I don't know, the London Eye or the walkie-talkie building or something like that. In your personal pictures, it doesn't matter. It's fine. But if you represent that thing commercially on a magazine page or in a film that is released commercially, or in a game that's released commercially, you actually have to pay a fee to them to license the way it looks, because they'll either have a copyright or a trademark on the look and feel of the landmark. And this is not the slightest bit unusual. Even historic ones like Big Ben, Melbourne Shrine, they have appearance fees that you have to pay. And it's just a way of life. It's just how these things work. So people probably wouldn't be familiar with that if they're not in the commercial world. Anyway, having scrolled down before, I know there's nothing much to come after this, so I'm going to cut it off here because we don't need to talk about the sales because it just upsets console people. But if you're on Steam, get out there because there's a whole lot of cheap stuff. I did actually shell out, a bit over 120 bucks on stuff for TSC, which I've been quite enjoying. So enjoy yourselves. That's been the roadmap. We know there's some big stuff coming with the Dovetail Direct event, so I suggest you register for that so you get to watch it on YouTube. There's a link I'll pop into the description, but you also saw it up there. Anyway, that'll do for now. So have fun, folks. Look forward to what's coming up next, and we shall see, won't we? Like I said at the start, let the speculation commence. Go crazy. Get onto my Discord, onto the TSW room, and get into it. There's quite a few people in there already doing that, and I won't confirm or deny anything because I'll just get myself in the poo. Alrighty, have fun, folks. See you later. Bye.
We played a game.